Hello, everybody. This is Top Hat Productions. I'm Minister Charles Nolen. I'm right here with you. This is also Rolling with Nolen on the road to recovery. And we want that recovery because we need it, folks. It's extremely important that we get some recovery. This is Top Hat Productions, like I said. There you go. There's the second half of the company name. And it just is what it is. And I hope that we can go back and forth here a little bit and show you that Top Hat Productions does exist. It really is. This was painted by Tanya, my daughter. She painted this piece of stick, wood, whatever you want to call it, in colors that she thought best represented Top Hat Productions, and I'm so glad that she did because she is a wonderful human being for doing such a wonderful job. And I don't think I could ask her to do much more than what she's already done because she knows she's got skills and she likes to paint. I mean, look, I also found this other thing that she does, and it's a lion. Now I want you just to look at this thing up close and personal and say to yourself, what in God's name? She's got all this talent. How do I get a hold of Tanya? Well, you can get a hold of her right here at charles.nolan1@gmail.com, and we'll be more than happy to get you anything that you see on here as something maybe you'd like to buy or invest in. Anyway, I hope that you're having a great day. I'm right now enjoying my Activia. I don't have the mirror image of it, so it says start with. That's what it is. It was upside down. Start with Activia, and that's the one that I like right there. A fiber, uh, pineapple, I believe. Yep, that's pineapple pineapple. I'm going to open up some right now as I'm talking to you on the program. You're more than welcome to make your comments and suggestions and tell me never to eat on television or whatever. I don't care. That's okay. You are entitled to your opinion and feel free to speak your mind on Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, uh, YouTube, anywhere you want to. Feel free to speak your mind because that is what this is all about. It isn't about me controlling the narrative as the Democrats like to do so passionately. Control that narrative, Democrats. You're so good at it. It's unbelievable how good you are at controlling the narrative. Yeah, well, what's up? I mean, what's really going on right now, folks? Think about it. You got President Trump right now. He's out there. He's trying to decide whether he wants to go and help Israel with Iran. You know, does he want to drop these megatonnage bombs on their nuclear development sites that are buried deep, deep, deep underground because we, the United States, have the technology to do what the Israelis are not necessarily capable of doing in a single strike. They probably would have to strike it about 50 times to get the same strike that we could get done in one strike. But regardless, do we want to help them, Israelis, against the Iranian government that keeps on coming against them? I mean, think about it. Even today, I took notice that the hospitals in Israel have been targeted by the Iranian leader. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, it's time because I mean, our president his life has been threatened. They want to take him out. I think they should take out this, oh God, I'm the leader of Iran, out, because he is not willing to come to the table. He's not talking. We don't know anything about what's really going on, except more bombs seem to be coming out of Iran and their related entities wherever they are, trying to make American and Israeli uh, places exploded, bombed. Hospitals. Iran is doing hospitals. They're targeting hospitals. I don't know about you, but I find that quite offensive. What do you think? Anyway, so let's try to bring an end to that kind of insanity and worry about what we need to do next. There is so many things that we could do that are very helpful. and we can help Iran accomplish these things, that is what we want to do. That is what we should do. That is a good thing to do. And I hope that we will do it because it needs to be done. And that's the only thing that I can say about that is that having that as something that we need to do is we need to keep on framing the picture the way it needs to be framed so people can see it clearly and from what angle. They need to know that the picture that we're shooting is for them to benefit from the uh, technologies that we have at our disposal to make these things work more effectively and fluently. And that's what we really, really, really want to do. And I certainly support it with all my heart and passion because I want to see good things come out of the world and not death and destruction. I mean, think about the protesters in the United States want Israel to go away, to blow up, to suffer damage. I mean, does it make much sense to you as the lights come on? Oh, there I am. I'm really lit up now, and I'm going to try and do it a little bit better. But what I like to say to people is, you really got to know what you're thinking up here. You got to put your head on and decide if that's really what you want to do. I say, read my lips, folks. Read them. Read them. Just try and figure out what I'm trying to say. I say, read my lips. That's really what we got to do, folks, because if we don't read each other's lips, we will never know what's going on. But what I want you to know is that we've got Fox News on in the background here. And you can see, let me just take a peek over here. General Mills and Kraft Heinz to cut artificial dyes. Well, wow, isn't it about time that something like that happens? We need that. This is just the things that we need to do, folks, in order to improve the quality of our health. And we should be in a cooperative environment to make that happen. And I hope that we will be, because we really need to be. It's extremely important that that happens. And so support Make America Healthy Again. We voted this president, Donald J. Trump, into office. Let's give him 100% of the resources and belief in him. But no, we have AOC, Bernie Sanders, and every other Democratic Communist Party member telling us this isn't the way it should be, that Trump is a Nazi. He's not. But they say it anyway because it's part of the George Soros narrative to control and influence everybody's opinion about a great Father President Donald J. Trump. We really do need to get this message out there so people know that we are being, they're attempting to brainwash us at the level of the Democratic Party so that we don't believe the Republicans, the Libertarians, the anybody who voted for Trump. The Democrats think bad people, bad people. I mean, you heard Hillary Clinton. They're deplorables. They're disgusting. She doesn't like anybody who put Trump into office. She thinks that we're stupid, as these Democrats think we are. And now they've gotten to such a point. If you saw my show yesterday, and you can look it up on the YouTube channel or any of the channels because it's there on all of them, that Joe Rogan had a guest on that he's had before who was for Trump, who decided he's going to flip on Trump now and say, impeach Trump. Now, how did that happen? What did Trump do that was so bad? Folks, please tell me, comment. What did Trump do that was so bad that proves that he shouldn't be president of the United States anymore? What did he do? Can anybody really tell me? Because this is a Democratic agenda. Deep State wants him offed. They want him offed. They want to support Iran getting him killed. They want to blame Iran for having him killed. They want to make it so that he gets killed. This is what the Democratic Party wants. They don't want to be held accountable for his death. They just want him to be gone. Any way they can make him gone, impeached, locked up, anything they can do. That's all they care about. They don't care about that the man has our best interest at heart and at hand. They just want him out. and that is disgusting. It should be against the law. The all the networks that support the anti-Trump movement should be banned from broadcasting anti-Trump information because it is pathetic. It is wrong. The FCC should step in and say, look, this can't keep going on, folks. You're going to lose your license. You're going to lose this. You're going to lose that if you keep it up. We know what you're all about. We know why you're trying to do it. They even CNN is, the big hamburger guy, the host. He has been confronted by his own guest. Why are you repeating the same thing over and over and over again? They say on CNN, the guest to the host. It's because they got nothing else to say. The deep state says, say this or you lose your job. Say this or we're going to lose to Trump and the Republican Party again. Say this or else. It's say this or else. The Democrats try to rule by propaganda, controlling the narrative, and making our lives a living hell any way they can. Anybody who believes in Trump, that is. Of course, if you don't believe in Trump, they might be nice to you a little bit, tiny bit, because they don't want to help you if you're, like, for instance, FEMA hasn't helped me where I really need help because I'm a Republican. They didn't want to come by my house. I had to write my congressman. I had to beg them to come to the house to do an inspection for both Hurricane Helena and Milton, which happened so long ago. And even though I got them to come, oh yeah, they sent me another $200 in personal property damage way after the fact, but they still didn't make up for the computer I lost and or the car I lost in respective storms. It just doesn't, we're being treated unfair. They are biased against us. They will do whatever they can at FEMA to, do the Democratic dance. Now that we have a Republican leader in charge of FEMA, who knows how it's going to change or when it's going to change? Who knows what influence my congressmen and senators will have over the narrative that the FEMA organization has? But I'm telling you, that's what's going on here is that FEMA is controlled, as so many other agencies are controlled by the Democratic deep state party. And we're in trouble unless we start to do something about it. You saw what I did, Life Lessons, yesterday. If you watch my show, great. If you haven't, please watch it. The life lesson is if you sit around and know that something's happened and you don't help and you don't do anything about it, you're as bad or complicit as the person who did it. Why in hell would you just stand around and watch somebody get beat up in a subway? You know what happened to that guy that stood up for the guy in the subway trying to help me? He was the only one. Let's say there was 10 people that were there helping. Chances are that guy, the criminal, would still be alive and held down and restrained. But nobody wanted to get involved. So he had to do his best on his own. That's what happened. And that's why the guy, perished, because he forced the issue and he didn't have enough people around him to restrain him from hurting himself or others. We have to do something more than sit around and go twiddle-dee-dee, twiddle-dee-dum. You know what I mean? So we've got to do that. So that's enough about President Trump and all this governmental stuff that's going on. But we've got to support Trump in whatever decision he ends up making in our behalf about Iran, because they can't have a nuclear weapon. There's just no way. And the leader of the Iranian government needs to be stopped, absolutely stopped, because the Iranian people themselves don't want to be under the reign that they are under by the Iranian government. They most of them don't. They can't stand the way they're being forced to live because of the Iranian leaders. So it's time to make a change. And it's a time to make a change so the world is a better place and a safer place to live in. Don't you think? Make your comments known. Make them known on Facebook. Make them known on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, X, everywhere. Make your comments known. Go to Truth Social and go at Real Donald Trump and let him know what you really think. I do all the time. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Because if we don't stand behind our president, who else is going to do it? Who else is going to do it? Oh, of course they're going to ask for money from us, and to try to keep the machine working, and to stand up against the money that's coming in on the Democratic side to try and annihilate the Republican side. Of course they're going to. So they got to do what little they can do, and we got to do everything in our power to support them to the best of our ability. And this is my best ability, is to talk on this platform, on all these different networks, hopefully trying to reach a few of you out there, even if it's on TikTok, which seems to be my largest, fastest growing audience. But anyway, regardless, that's enough about governmental issues. Let's walk into the entertainment issues. I just saw something where Jimmy Kimmel had Chuch Norris on his show. Jimmy Kimmel, the late night talk show host, had Chuch Norris on the show. And Jimmy Kimmel tried to humiliate Chuch Norris and, bring up his age, 82. You haven't done a movie in years, Jimmy Kimmel says to Chuch Norris. You're just a mystery, a mystique behind, all this stuff. You're no longer active. You no longer fight. When was your last fight? I mean, it was all designed to get laughs at Chuch Norris's expense, and to basically humiliate and embarrass himself, Jimmy Kimmel, because he just doesn't know how to shut his rat trap. And I think he should be fired. And I commented as such underneath the video that I saw that described what happened during that show. It's ridiculous what's happening in the entertainment industry. But let's just stay focused on that, because I don't see any point in going any further than that. Because as far as I'm concerned, Chuck Norris has all these funny sayings and stuff, and his fans really appreciate him, and they kind of like say that he's counted to infinity and back twice. So what? So what? We think that the man's cool. We think that the man's great, and that he can do things that very few other people can do. And he's doing it, and he has done it. But we don't think it's all out there for him to be made a public spectacle of. And Chuck Norris handled himself incredibly gracious, respectful, disciplined, as he always has. And he just got up and he left the show. He just got up, took his microphone off, and walked off the show, leaving a pale white Jimmy Kimmel on there eating his own crow, if what that means. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous how some people act towards other people. It's unfair, it's unjust, and it's just Chuck Norris never deserved to be treated like that. He has a ranch in Texas. He teaches people how to do a karate or variations of it, what have you. He helps with interpersonal development. He helps with ranch. God only knows what he does with his ranch and who he invites on to help. And I know one thing's for sure. Here, I'm going to show you. I went out to a place called On-Site, and there was this horse, and I made friends with it. It's in Tennessee, and you look it up, ONSITE, and do their equestrian part of it too, included with your psychological stuff. And I thought I was going to hell in a handbasket personally, but it wasn't until I went to this program and had Kathy was my personal Christian instructor's therapist's name, and she helped me see a lot of things I didn't want to face about myself, but I did because I had a really good tour guide, Kathy, the therapist, Christian therapist. And she took me out with the help of the equestrian team, and they let me walk around horses. And this was the horse that I got along with, but I ended up kind of drawing myself, and this is where I learned something about myself, to the horse that resisted the most, instead of this wonderful, beautiful horse that actually got along with me and gave me a hug like only a horse can do, by putting his own head around me and holding me and pulling me into the gate, and just hugging me like a horse can do. And this is the very, very horse that did it out there on site. I don't know much about where he's at, or I don't even remember his name because it was so long ago. But I do know this is exactly what he looks like, and I love that horse, and I love all the people at on site that are. Many of them are still there trying to help people, including the owner, the developer, and they work together with Dr. Phil, and that's how I got to on site, through Dr. Phil. And going there, needing help desperately, being a basket case and an abuser myself, and I had to confess the truth and face my life in ways that I could never have done without the Dr. Phil show and the guidance to get to a place like Onsite, which helped me over a course of like 5 to 7 days face up to who I am as a person and why I act the way I did. I had to do that. And it's a pretty scary thing to do. And I got to the point where I was so determined to, win and utilize this experience that I got from on site that I was even trying to, other people were saying, I can't handle this. I got to leave. And I would talk to them and I would say, look, I'm nobody, but you know what? If I can handle it and I can do something about this, you can too. You can stay and ride it out and do it. And I with that one guy that I did that with, I don't know if you'll ever watch my program and or remember me, but it didn't matter. He just couldn't handle it. So he wasn't ready to surrender to his weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and whatever it was that he was holding on to. I was, because I felt like I was falling into what you call the great abyss, black darkness that you can't see nothing around you. And it was hopelessness. And it was just like an endless fall that would not stop. And until I went through the Dr. Phil process, which basically had me humiliating myself on the air, nationally, possibly internationally, who knows where that show gets seen, and then them being kind and gracious enough to send me on to on-site in Tennessee, I the fall that I was in would never have stopped, but it finally did. And I started to be able to heal, and I started to be able to use the processes uh, that they teach you at on site. And here's something that I got from on site right here. This little thing I got, both the chip, which had the horse on it, and my some of my experiences. It literally says on site on it, and on the other side it says, and I'll read it to you: trust the process, celebrate the miracles. And it has a big beautiful tree on it. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what's there. And I encourage you to be ready, and to, if you can't get on Dr. Phil, to take yourself somehow, some way to the on-site program in Tennessee. Look it up, and get help if you need it. If you need help, I mean, some people just aren't ready and they don't think they need help. But I think everybody needs help, but they may not be ready to face the fact that they need help. I say we all need help, but there are some people that may need help more than others. But it's being ready for the help as well. You have to be ready to accept it and ready to make changes in your life. I was, because death was the only thing in front I had to look forward to stop the falling in the black abyss that I was falling in. So I encourage you with all my heart and soul, as a fellow humanitarian, as a minister today, which I wasn't before, of Christianity and the love of God, to get help, to get closer to God, and to tie it all together for you and bring yourself closer to God, and and you know plan on going to heaven. Plan on going to heaven. Don't plan on doing nothing. Don't plan on, oh, I'm doing well enough. Oh, I don't have enough time. Plan on going to heaven, because there will come an end to this, and the end is either heaven or hell. Heaven is the choice I have made for me. I encourage you to make the choice for you to go to heaven, because you don't want to be dominated by Satan and his minions. Forget it. The cruelty, the pain, the read the Bible and you will choose heaven. I promise you. If you have any heart, compassion at all, you will choose heaven. Yesterday on the show, I said read Psalm 91. Why? It's a really great psalm. Is one of the reasons that I suggested that. But because I know that so few people have the ability to read stuff like that, I sometimes say to myself, well, how about if I read it to people? what would they say, or how would they feel then if I would read Psalm 91 to them? I mean, it is it's not the shortest psalm in the Bible, but it is something. What I do, and I'm recommending you do it too, is you go to Bible Gateway, which I'm typing in now, .com, BibleGateway.com, one word, BibleGateway.com. And then you, at the top, it says enter passage, word, or topic, and you would type in PSALM space 91, and then press your enter or return key, and there it pops up. And in my particular version, I'm using the New International Version, but other people have told me that I should probably use the amplified version for the internet, so people are less, you know, overwhelmed by the wordage that they have in the King James and the New International Version, which could be elude people from understanding the truth of what the word is trying to say. So here we go. Psalm 91 in the Amplified Bible Classic Edition. Psalm 91 1. And then it just keeps increasing after like what looks like every sentence to like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way through to 16. So it starts out, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall remain stable and fixed under the shadow of the Almighty, whose power no foe can withstand. 2. I will say of the Lord, comma, he is my refuge and my fortress, comma, my God, semicolon. On him I lean and rely, comma, and in him I confidently trust. Number 3. For then he will deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the deadly pestilence. 4. Then he will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings shall you trust and find refuge. His truth and his faithfulness are a shield and buckler. 5. You shall not be afraid of the terror of the night, nor the arrow, the evil plots and slanders of the wicked that flies by day. 6. Nor of the pestilence that stalks in darkness, nor of the destruction and sudden death that surprise and lay waste at noonday. 7. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. 8. Only a spectator shall you be, yourself inaccessible, in the secret place of the Most High, as you witness the reward of the wicked. 9. Because you have made the Lord your refuge and the Most High your dwelling place. 10. There shall no evil befall you, nor any plague or calamity come near your tent. 11. For he shall give his angels special charge over you to accompany and defend and preserve you in all your ways of obedience and service. 12. They shall bear you up on their hands, lest you dash your foot against a stone. 13. You shall tread upon the lion and adder. The young lion and the serpent shall you trample underfoot. 14. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he knows and understands my name, has a personal knowledge of my mercy, love, and kindness, trusts and relies on me, Jesus, knowing I will never forsake him. No, never. God will never forsake you. That's incredible. We're almost done. 2 more lines. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. This is God treating you like a friend he would protect and love. Finally, 16. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Amen. There it is. That is the kind of stuff that you want as part of your life to have. Psalm 91 is a really good illustration. Now, I told you I read it from the Amplified Bible Classic Edition, and there's the King James Version. There's a few other versions out there that I personally like. I like the these and thous, and I like the way, you know, you know, I have to think for myself. Uh, the New International Version is. There is also an NEB. I'm trying to see if I have an access to it just to give you a sample of it. Um, New American Bible, uh, Standard Bible, New American Standard Bible, and that way you can kind of compare it in a way. So, like I just read 14 through 16. I want to reread it from the New American Bible, New American Standard Bible. From a 14 reads in this version, because he has loved me, I will save him. I will set him securely on high because he has known my name. 15. He will call upon me and I will answer him. This is the Lord saying to you that if you call upon him, he will answer you. I will be with him in trouble. I will rescue him and honor him. This is the Lord talking to you. I will satisfy him with a long life and show him my salvation. So it's the same wording, slightly more direct, but the Bible is supposed to be the same, no matter what version you read it in. And your understanding of how the interpretations work, no matter which Bible you're reading from, should all equal the same. They equal the same thing. So this is why we try to read to people that need to be fed, milk first, the amplified version of the Bible, because it explains it a little bit. But if you read the other versions of the Christian Bible, you will see that it is exactly the same thing with, less wording, because it's expecting you to understand what it's saying. That you've been studying the Bible for a while, and as a licensed minister, I have been doing this for over 16 years. So I have some idea of what I'm talking about, and I want to share that wealth of information with you as the Lord would want to share that with you. And I encourage you, highly encourage you, to engage. So let's just go over in short. Today we talked about President Trump and supporting him on the Iran decision, whatever he ends up making. I don't know what it is or if he's made that yet. We want to support, John F. Kennedy Jr., the guy that's in there now, with the to help us eat better quality food, so we're not poisoning ourselves anymore or letting big business poison us. He wants to change all that, so we're eating healthier. Uh, we want to consider the idea of the man who leads Iran. He threatened the life of our president. Should he be taken out because he is too busy concentrating on all the wrong things? And today, they blew up a hospital in Israel. I mean, that's just wrong to the highest level of wrong. I mean, these people can't even defend themselves. That'd be like knocking down babies. I mean, you're tied to a bed, you're in a hospital, you got doctors working on you. There is where you stop. You draw a line at places like that in military. You should never cross that line. But they did. So it's time for him to go bye bye and put trusted people to run Iran in place. We shouldn't have to contend with this. Ally, our strongest ally is Israel, and we need to align ourselves. I'm sure Donald Trump is thinking, how can I do this without bringing us into, a bigger problem? There's no way he's going to allow Iran to knowingly have a nuclear weapon. So he, I'm sure he wants to bomb the hell out of that deep, deep, deep underground nuclear development plant for bombs. But he's holding back. He's letting Israel take the lead, and you know he's thinking about his next move, but he hasn't made the decision yet. So don't get all up in arms about just bombing Iran. It's not really about bombing Iran. It's about stopping them from ever having a nuclear bomb and or bombing hospitals. Uh, I don't know how to tell you people that protest against Donald Trump and against Israel to stop protesting in this way because it's not really, it's just not right. What you're doing is wrong. You're protesting and standing up for the Iranians. It's like when you go to court, let's look at an analogy. You Everybody has the right for representation, including the defendant. Well, guess who's the defendant in this case? It's Iran. So let them have their own representation, their own appointed lawyer in this case, that will attempt to defend what they're trying to do and still allow it to be worked out and judged by a judge, for instance. Not protested to the point of insanity and tense and hurting Jews in America and and killing them because you protesters, let's say most of you don't want to kill anybody, but you influence people that might want to kill people because they want to come out on top. They want to look like they're doing the right thing and standing up for the right thing, even if they got to kill a few Jews. That's okay. That's not okay. That's not okay. And we need to stop the killing in either direction, by accident, by coincidence, or otherwise. We need to really use our heads and talk to one another instead of just like having these television mediums to talk and just talk blah blah blah, as Whoopi Goldberg would say on The View while she's stuffing her face. Yeah, okay. I had to let that one out of the bag because the whole cow farm at The View is just ridiculous. Their opinions are too much for me to even deal with in any way, shape, or form. But what I do understand is that we have to make change. We have to recalibrate our behavior and help each other. That's what God wants us to do, is to be a family together, not to destroy one another, not to protest one another, but to help each other, to do the right thing. And the only place that we're truly going to get the right thing and the direction that we need to go in is from the Bible. Because the Bible is the one book that represents God, that is God. His word is Him. And we need to read it and understand what God is. That's why we go to the Bible. And the Bible will have those answers. Now, for those of you who want to look at something that isn't the Bible and the Iranian whatever, I can't reach people that choose to be unreachable. If you choose to be unreachable and you make yourself Arabic in such a way that I'm going to live by Arabic law and that's it, I'm a Buddhist and I'm going to be a Buddhist, you cut yourself off from a majority of the world. You even think that the world's going to be overtaken by you guys eventually. Those of you who think you're Buddhist and Arabic and all that, you think you're going to run the whole world. You're going to take over every country. You're going to be everywhere. Well, guess what? I have some news for you. That's not what's going to happen, and it's not even reported in the biblical sayings anywhere in any Bible I've ever read. But you know, until you were ready to come around, until I was ready to come around and make changes in my own life, I was stubborn too. And I thought I had to hold on to my beliefs until I learned that I did not have to hold on to my beliefs any longer. And I could change for something much, much better. And I'm encouraging you to do that too. Also, as I was going over the list of things, I also talked about Chuck Norris and being on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Jimmy Kimmel should be fired off of the late night show. He is a ridiculous. Um, he aggravates the hell out of me. He thinks he's funny, but he's not. Get it? He's not. He's not funny to me at all. I've looked at his show, tuned in from time to time, and I don't find his way of doing humor as funny. I think that I don't even know what to tell you about why people laugh in the audience. Is it real? Is it a laugh track? Are there signs saying applause and laughter here? I have no idea. The producers work the show with him, and God only knows how it has. But I don't find his show funny, and I'm not being forced to laugh because I'm a guest in his audience or anything. So I just don't find what he does funny. If I want funny, at this point in my life, I go to Fox News and I watch the Greg Gutfield show and Tyrus and Kat Timpf and all the guests that come on that show. And I find that stuff pretty intense and sometimes bust out loud laughing. I just do. I don't know why. I mean, some of it just grabs me and makes me laugh so hard. But Jimmy Kimmel, what he did to Chuck Norris is shameful, embarrassing, humiliating, and that is Jimmy Kimmel's personality. And he should be let go by his network and somebody, anybody else that's funny, knows humor, intelligence, respectful. That's the key point there, respectful, and can do dialogue and interviews with people and it's not just about ratings and control of the guest that's in his seats or in whoever seats. They're respectful and they bring out the information and the interesting things. They talk about the families, the various everything, whatever it is in the person's life, and they know ahead of time what the person is capable of talking about and what they don't want to talk about, and they respect and honor that, and they just don't go after them like it's my show. You're in my house, as Jimmy Kimmel would say, and I'm going to do it my way. If you don't like it, you can leave. Well, guess what? Chuck Norris stood up, took off his microphone, and he left. And that's the end of it. And Jimmy Kimmel was left there pale white on his show behind his desk. That Go figure. How can you be that arrogant? I mean, I've read some of the comments underneath, besides me asking for him being fired, which was the most recent comment. The comment right under mine was it's because he is a conservative that he was picked on like that. Well, there it is. Democrats, deep state, agenda, control the narrative. Like I said, we have to do something with the FCC, all the cable channels, everything, and so that they have to be regulated in such a way that they can't feed us full of bull sugar, and they have to control themselves and be journalists like they went to school to learn, we hope and pray, and report the news. Remember, if any of you are old enough to remember, there was a time when journalism actually, it showed different variations of opinion, but it didn't show it to the extreme that it shows it now. Now you have 9 out of 10 networks saying Trump bad, uh, you know, Democrats good, one way or another. They totally diss the Republican Party. They totally diss mostly Donald Trump. They seek his impeachment. They seek anything they can do to destroy the presidency. Even though I personally have met Donald Trump and I know that he is a good person. I know that he's a good person. I have not met his family, but from everything I've watched and can see and research, I see that his whole family is a bunch of good people too, and and people just keep going after him for no relevant reason. He's trying to help the world. He's trying to put more money in your pocket. He's trying to make it so that we can live better, and Social Security can sustain us, and Medicaid and Medicare can sustain us. He's trying to work these things out with his cabinet, with his all his different secretaries that he has surrounded himself with. And we need to give him the kind of support and love that he deserves, not the anti-Trump movement or the Trump derangement syndrome crap that he's getting now. It's not fair. The man has too much on his plate, and he deserves a whole lot better than what we, and I say we because collectively, he's got so many people acting stupid towards him when in fact they should be acting for him. And the majority of these things are like AOC, Bernie Sanders, the New York senators, the California ones, Nancy Pelosi, and Adam Shifty Shift. And all these people are just against him no matter what. I mean, they live to be against Donald Trump. And that's their agenda. They don't even know the truth. They don't even know the man, nor have they probably really sat down and had a heart to heart with him or seen him as a family man or seen him as the president of the United States in a good light. They just refuse. So that's it. That's the way they're going to carry themselves. And this breeds over into all the networks that the Democrats are affiliated with, in so deep with. And the deep state just tries to control through what we think by controlling everything that we see and hear. We have to be aware of this and resist it and support the guy that's 72 to 79% of us elected to be president of the United States and disregard these people until the FCC, until various regulations get put in place that force these folks to be honest with facts instead of just stating their opinion, instead of just stating, you know, where it should go, what we should do. It's just wrong the way they're treating the president of our great United States of America. We need to stand up for him and give him the kind of breathing room that he needs to make the kind of decisions we want him to make, that we voted him to be in office for. So I highly encourage that we all get together and do that. Other than that, read Psalm 91 out of the Bible, read the Bible, period. Try to read anything from the Bible and find out what God's trying to tell you. Have a relationship with Jesus. Get to know him, feel him, understand him, ask him, Jesus, how do I get you more in my life? How can I make it so that you're influencing me in the direction that I do things, the direction and choices that I make? How do I do that? Ask Jesus. He will guide you, he will help you, and he tells you, read my word, because my word is me. It's a living word. It's not just any word. It's the most honest that anything can be, is the word of God. And we need to open ourselves up to the word of God so we can navigate this world until he brings us home to be with him. And I choose heaven. I hope you do too. And on that note, I say thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and God bless you and your family. And just think about what I'm saying here. God love you. So do I.